I just wanted a quiet snack and a souvenir magnet. That was the entire plan. I was standing in a neon-lit market plaza on a planet whose name I still couldn't pronounce, trying to decide if the glowing purple jerky in front of me was edible or a decorative toxin, when the screaming started. Not danger screaming. Not terror screaming. More like enthusiastic chaos screaming. Cameras zipped overhead like metallic mosquitoes. Drones buzzed. Holoscreens flared to life on nearby walls. A crowd surged past me, all feathers, fur, scales, and glittering accessories, their voices overlapping in excited chirps and whistles. I blinked, stepping back, clutching my bag of questionable snacks. "What is happening?" I muttered. Then she appeared. She was taller than most of the crowd, elegant, with sleek copper-red fur that shimmered under the plaza lights. Tall ears twitched as she walked, eyes sharp, expression somewhere between bored and professionally charming. She wore something that looked expensive and impractical, with glowing seams that traced her figure like it had been designed by someone who wanted attention to follow her everywhere. Which it did. The crowd surged harder. Microphones extended. Translators chirped. Someone shouted something in a language I didn't understand, but the tone was unmistakable. Scandal-hungry. She slowed. I should have kept walking. I should have turned around, found a quiet alley, and eaten my probably poisoned jerky in peace. Instead, I stood there like an idiot. Our eyes met. Her pupils dilated. She froze. Then she pointed at me. "This is my husband." Silence slammed into the plaza like a dropped plate. Every camera snapped toward me. Every drone tilted. Every holoscreen zoomed. I was mid-chew. I choked. I coughed so hard I nearly dropped my bag. "I'm what?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. "Human," someone whispered. "Deathworlder." "Bonded." "Husband." I finally swallowed, heart punching my ribs. I looked left. Right. Behind me, she was still pointing at me. No one else was near enough to be the target. I raised a finger weakly. "You mean me?" Her eyes locked onto mine with a look of pure panic disguised as confidence. She stepped closer, slid her arm through mine, and leaned in like we were about to kiss. "Smile," she whispered, teeth barely moving. "And don't contradict me." Why would I? A microphone shoved itself under my chin. "Is it true?" A reporter demanded, their translator flickering. "Are you the bonded male?" "I don't even know her name," I blurted. The crowd gasped louder. Her grip tightened. She laughed. Bright, charming, practiced. "Oh, he's shy. Humans are like that." "What does that mean?" I whispered. "It means shut up." A drone floated closer, scanning me. A graphic popped up on a nearby screen. "Human male, unregistered, possible consort." I stared at it. "That says consort." "Yes," she whispered. "Don't panic." "I am panicking." She squeezed my arm harder. A reporter leaned forward. "Human male, how long have you been bonded to our star?" I opened my mouth. She beat me to it. "Since he arrived." 2 days ago?" I squeaked. Her smile sharpened. The crowd erupted. Fast bonding. Predatory courtship. Typical Deathworlder. Behavior. What does that even mean? I muttered. A microphone shoved closer. "What attracted you to her?" I blinked. "I mean, she's tall?" The crowd went feral. "Tall," someone shrieked. "Dominance preference. Structural compatibility." "I just meant—" I tried. She cut in smoothly. "He appreciates my presence." That seemed to make it worse. Another reporter leaned in. "What are your bonding habits like, human?" I stared. "I eat breakfast." The plaza exploded. "He eats with her." Intimate daily ritual. Long-term pairing behavior. My heart pounded. "I think your translator is broken." She leaned in closer, voice low. "No. Their cultural assumptions are." I want out of this assumption. Too late. A producer-looking alien elbowed through the crowd, wearing a headset and glowing wrist panels. They stared at us, eyes wide. "Do you know what you've done?" they whispered. "I bought jerky," I said. You've just announced the biggest romantic development in interstellar media this year. The Vulpine woman smiled brightly for the cameras, then hissed under her breath, "Please don't ruin this." Ruin what? My escape. I frowned. From what? Everything. A reporter shouted, "Human male, what makes you worthy of her?" I swallowed. "I work hard." The crowd lost its mind. Hard. Endurance claim. Stamina confession. I stared at her. "Why are they screaming?" "Because," she muttered, "you're accidentally being scandalous." I said I work hard. Yes. Exactly. She tugged me forward, walking us through the crowd. Cameras followed like loyal pets. "Okay," I whispered. "Explain." Slowly. With words I understand. "I'm a reality star." "Okay." "My relationships are fake." "Less okay." "I just got cornered by paparazzi asking about a mating contract I don't want." "That sounds illegal." "And you," she said, glancing at me, "looked safe." I snorted. "I look safe." "You were holding a snack and blinking." "Fair." A producer slid alongside us. "You'll need to come to the studio." "No," I said immediately. She tightened her grip. "Yes," she said sweetly. I leaned in. "I don't do cameras." She whispered, "I will pay you." My ears perked. "How much?" She hesitated. "Enough to buy a spaceship ticket home." I exhaled. "What's your name?" I asked. "Lyrian." "I'm not your husband." "I know. So why me?" She glanced at me. "You didn't look like you wanted anything from me." I opened my mouth, then closed it. That hit harder than I expected. A producer clapped their hands. "We're live in 3 minutes." "What?" I yelped. Lyrian squeezed my hand. "Just smile. Answer vaguely. Don't say numbers." "Why not numbers?" "They'll extrapolate." "Into what?" "Things." I didn't like how she said things. A reporter leaned in. "Human male, what is your bonding style?" I froze. Lyrian whispered, "Say something normal." "I'm committed?" The crowd gasped again. "Permanent bonding instinct." "Single-pair species." I whispered, "I hate space." She smiled wider. The cameras repositioned. Lights flared. A giant holoscreen behind us displayed our faces side by side. I barely recognized myself. My hair was messy. My eyes were wide. I still had crumbs on my jacket. She looked flawless. The host's voice boomed. "Viewers across the systems, breaking news. Lyrian Vex has revealed her bonded mate." I choked. Bonded. A human male from a death world species known for endurance, emotional resilience, and extreme attachment behaviors. I whispered, "I cry at sad movies." She whispered back, "Don't say that." The host continued, "Tell us, human, what makes you compatible with our star?" Every camera focused on me. I swallowed. "I help people when they're stressed." The plaza erupted. Emotional dominance. Psychological pair bonding. Therapeutic mating role. I whispered, "I was trying to be nice." She whispered, "Stop being so impressive." I stared at her. "This is impressive?" "Yes." The host leaned closer. "How long can you maintain such devotion?" I blinked. "I mean, I don't quit easily." The crowd screamed. Lyrian's eyes widened. "You said stamina again," she hissed. "I don't know what that means here." The host smiled, fangs gleaming. A true deathworlder. My face burned. "This is a mistake," I muttered. She squeezed my hand. "Please," she whispered. "Just today. Just survive today." I looked at her. Really looked. Not the cameras. Not the crowd. Her eyes were bright, but tired. Her smile was perfect, but brittle. For a split second, she wasn't a star. She was just someone cornered. I sighed. "Fine," I muttered. "One day." Her shoulders relaxed. The host beamed. "What a declaration. The galaxy is watching." A massive holoscreen flashed. #VulpineHusband. My stomach dropped. "My mom is going to see this," I whispered. She blinked. "You have a mother?" "Yes." Does she watch interstellar celebrity news? Probably not, but knowing my luck. A producer leaned in. You two will be moving into a shared suite for observation. I spun. Observation. Compatibility metrics. Lyrian paled. I stared at her. She stared back. You didn't mention that, I said. She winced. I didn't know. The host's voice boomed again. Viewers, stay tuned. We will witness the legendary bonding rituals of a human male. I whispered. I don't have rituals. Yes, you do, she whispered back. I do. You breathe, eat, sleep, and exist. They think all of that is romantic. I exhaled. Slowly. Cameras zoomed in. The crowd roared. And somehow, in the span of 3 minutes, I'd gone from a guy trying to buy jerky to the galaxy's most mysterious husband. If you want, I will now continue with. The studio smelled like polished metal, warm lights, and panic. Mostly panic. They hustled us through a corridor lined with giant hollow posters of Lyrian in dramatic poses, laughing, crying, staring into the distance like she discovered the meaning of life in a puddle. Every poster had a slogan. Every slogan sounded like it was trying to sell feelings by the kilogram. Lyrian's grip never left my wrist. Every time I slowed, she tugged. Every time I opened my mouth to ask if I could just leave, another camera rolled by, and she'd smile like we were a couple who'd been rehearsing affection since birth. The moment a door shut behind us, her smile collapsed. Okay, she said, voice low and fast. We need rules. I rubbed my wrist. Rule 1. You don't point at strangers and marry them. Too late. Rule 2. I'm not doing anything that involves rituals. She blinked. You already did. I ate food. Yes, she said, dead serious. On my world, eating in public beside a celebrity implies social claim. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. She shrugged. My world is dumb. It just looks pretty. A producer in a headset glided toward us like a predator who discovered fresh ratings. Their eyes flicked over me, then back to Lyrian. You're trending in 14 systems, they said, breathless. Your engagement numbers are... I don't care, Lyrian snapped. I care, I said. Are engagement numbers money? The producer's stare sharpened. Human male, are you interested in a contract? Lyrian's ears flattened. I held up my hands. I'm interested in not being arrested. The producer laughed like I'd told a joke. Oh, you're adorable. The viewers will love you. I don't want viewers to love me. They already do. They think you're dangerous. I frowned. Dangerous? The producer waved a wrist panel. A hollow screen flickered on, showing my face from the plaza. Under it, a bold caption scrolled in multiple languages. The translator helpfully rendered it into something horrifying. Human mate. Endurance class. Unashamed. High pressure compatible. I stared. I'm a guy who gets winded carrying groceries. The producer leaned closer. Exactly. Your humility is terrifying. I looked at Lyrian. Your planet is insane. Yes, she said. Please survive it. They pushed us into a dressing room, except it wasn't a dressing room. It was a war room disguised as luxury. Screens everywhere. Makeup tools. Lighting. Stylists pacing like their lives depended on cheekbones. A table covered in drink options that glowed. A small alien with 4 hands shoved a tablet into my chest. Sign-in. Consent forms. Bonding disclosure. Species compatibility waiver. I backed up. No. Lyrian stepped in front of me. He needs time. The stylist blinked at her. Time? We're live again in 30 minutes. I stared at her. Again? Lyrian's smile came back, tight. They're doing a special. They never do specials. Congratulations, I said. You've invented my nightmare. She exhaled slowly, then leaned in, whispering so only I could hear. If I don't control the narrative today, they'll control it for me for months. What narrative? That I'm desperate. That I made it up. That I'm losing relevance. Her voice cracked on the last word. This lie has to look confident. I stared at her. She looked like she was holding herself together with sheer rage and muscle memory. I sighed. Fine, but I'm not kissing you on camera. Her eyes widened, then she hissed, "Don't say that sentence out loud here." I frowned. Why? Because the room had gone quiet. Every stylist had frozen. The four-handed one had stopped mid-step. A camera drone outside the open doorway hummed, angling itself toward us. The producer's face brightened like a sun. "Oh, kissing is on the table." I stiffened. "No." The producer beamed wider. "The human denies affection. A dominance display." Lyrian closed her eyes like she was praying for a meteor. I muttered, "How is refusing a dominance display?" The producer leaned in. "Because it implies you control access." I stared. Control access to my mouth? Lyrian grabbed my sleeve and dragged me behind a screen. "Listen," she whispered sharply. "Your words keep turning into something else." I notice, so we pick safe phrases. Neutral. Vague. I nodded. "Okay. Like what?" She thought hard. "You can say you're committed. Supportive. Protective." I already said supportive, and they declared me an emotional warlord. She grimaced. "Then we lean into it. But carefully." "I don't want to lean into anything," I said. Her ears twitched. "Don't say that either." I stared at her. "Seriously," she said. "They interpret leaning as foreplay." I froze. She sighed. "Welcome to my life." A stylist popped their head in. "Lyrian, we need you. Human mate, we need you too. We have to make you look more dangerous." "I'm wearing a hoodie," I protested. They looked offended. "Exactly." They sat me down. Someone started combing my hair like I was a distressed animal. Another tried to dab my face with something cold. I flinched. "Stop," I said. "I'm fine." The room gasped. A translator pinged. "Human male displays self-sufficiency." The producer whispered, delighted, "He doesn't need adornment. He radiates threat." I stared at Lyrian. "Threat?" She mouthed, "I'm sorry." They replaced my hoodie with a jacket that looked like it belonged to a space pirate who charged by the hour. Dark fabric, sharp collar, subtle metallic lines. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. "Oh no," I muttered. "I look like I sell secrets." "Yes," the producer said. "Perfect." Lyrian stepped beside me, already flawless, already ready. Except her eyes were tired again. She leaned close. "One more thing. In the interview, do not mention money." "What? Why?" "Because if you say you're here for money, they'll interpret it as payment." I guessed. She winced. "They'll interpret it as transactional intimacy." I blinked. "That's the leap." She stared at me. They once turned a celebrity's grocery receipt into a mating scandal. My jaw dropped. "How?" "She bought cucumbers and a towel." I stared at her. She stared back. I slowly nodded. "Okay. No money." The producer clapped their hands. "Positions. We're live in 10. A stagehand ushered us down a corridor. It opened into a bright studio with layered seating and floating camera drones. The audience was a mix of species, all buzzing with excitement. Hollow screens displayed our faces overhead, like we were a solar event. The host stood center stage, wearing a suit that shimmered. They smiled too wide. "Welcome back, viewers across the systems," they boomed. "Tonight, we continue the historic bonding revelation of Lyrian Vex and her human mate." The crowd roared. My stomach flipped. The host turned to me. "Human male, the galaxy has questions. First, what do we call you?" I opened my mouth. Lyrian leaned in. "Use your first name only," she whispered. I nodded. "I'm Adam." The crowd gasped like I'd confessed a crime. The translator chimed, "Name declaration. Intimate identity sharing." The host practically purred. "He offers a personal identifier. A sign of trust." I whispered, "It's my name." Lyrian whispered back, "On my world, celebrities don't share first names with casual acquaintances." I blinked. That's depressing. She didn't argue. The host stepped closer. "Adam, The audience wants to know, when did you decide she was yours? I choked. She's not. Lyrian's nails pressed lightly into my arm. I swallowed. When I saw her. The crowd screamed. The host's eyes gleamed. Instant claim. No, I said quickly. I meant, I saw her, and then she said the thing. The host laughed. A humble predator. Incredible. Lyrian murmured. Keep it simple. The host paced. Human male. What do you do on your homeworld? What is your role? I brightened. Finally. A normal question. I'm an engineer. The audience went quiet. Then they erupted. Engineer. Builder. Problem solver. The translator lit up. Human male possesses constructive dominance, capable of repairing environments and bonding spaces. I stared at the screen. Constructive dominance? The host leaned in. So you build. I fix things, I corrected. The host smiled. Even more intimate. Lyrian's hand slid into mine, fingers warm. She squeezed once like a reminder. Don't fight the current. The host turned to Lyrian. Lyrian, is it true your mate works long nights? Lyrian's ears twitched. I froze. I had said that. Sometimes, I said cautiously. If the work needs doing. The audience erupted again. Long nights. Endurance. Unbreakable. Lyrian whispered, through her smile. Stop sounding noble. I'm not trying to sound noble, I hissed back. I'm describing deadlines. The host laughed. Deadlines. Another word humans use for their limit games. I blinked. Limit games. Lyrian whispered. They think deadlines are a form of timed mating challenge. I stared straight ahead, mouth closed. The host turned back to me. The galaxy is fascinated by human bonding rituals. Tell us, Adam, how do humans prove devotion? I could not possibly answer that without causing a diplomatic incident. I tried anyway. We'd show up, I said. We keep promises. The audience went silent. Then something shifted. Their excitement became attentive. The host's smile faltered slightly. You keep promises. Yes, I said, voice steady now. If you say you'll be there, you're there. Even when it's inconvenient. Especially when it's inconvenient. The crowd murmured. I felt Lyrian's grip tighten, not from panic this time, but from surprise. The host recovered with a laugh. A charming concept. It's not charming, I said. It's basic. The translator chimed. Human male claims devotion AS baseline. Cultural intensity high. The audience reacted. Half laughter, half awe. The host leaned in again, hungry for scandal. And physical compatibility? Your species is rumored to be. I held up a hand. No. The audience gasped. The host's eyebrows rose. No. No. I repeated calmly. I'm not discussing that. The crowd erupted like I'd just thrown a grenade. Boundaries setting. Control. Discipline. Dangerous self-restraint. The producer offstage looked like they were about to faint from joy. Lyrian stared at me, stunned. I leaned toward her, whispering, Did I do it right? Her lips twitched, almost a real smile. Yes. Unfortunately. The host tried another angle. Then tell us about your strengths, human. What makes you suitable? I exhaled. I'm good under pressure, I said. I solve problems. I don't run. The translator seized it like a hungry animal. Pressure compatibility confirmed. Problem-solving mate. Persistence. The audience screamed again. Lyrian whispered, Stop being heroic. I'm literally describing my job. I whispered back. The host stepped back, spreading their arms. Viewers, you see it. A human mate who refuses shame, sets boundaries, and declares devotion as baseline. Lyrian Vex has bonded with a creature of terrifying normalcy. Terrifying normalcy. That might have been the first accurate thing said tonight. The host turned to Lyrian. Lyrian. Some critics claim this is staged. Lyrian's posture stiffened. Her smile sharpened, defensive. Of course they do. The host's voice softened. What do you say to them? Lyrian glanced at me. Just a glance, but it was loaded. A quick flicker of uncertainty.
Fear.
I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to matter. I was a prop that accidentally became a person. I squeezed her hand once, grounding. She lifted her chin. I say they're wrong. The crowd roared. The host nodded approvingly. And to prove it, our network has prepared something unprecedented. My stomach dropped.
No.
The host smiled wider. A live-in compatibility week. The audience screamed. Lyrian's ears flattened. I stared at the host. What does that mean? It means, the host said, delighted, you two will live together under observation. Viewers will witness your private routines, your bonding habits, your domestic power dynamics. Absolutely not, I said, voice firm. The crowd gasped, then screamed again. Resistance. Dominance. He's protecting his space. Lyrian leaned in fast, whispering, if we refuse, they'll spin it as a breakup. I don't care, I hissed. She whispered back, raw now. I care. That stopped me. Not because of ratings. Not because of the cameras. Because her voice had cracked again, and she looked like someone standing on a ledge. The host continued, unaware or pretending not to notice. Your suite has already been prepared. A romantic environment designed to test your compatibility across multiple metrics. Metrics, I muttered. Of course. A producer appeared at the stage edge, holding a tablet. The host smiled sweetly. Adam, will you accept this trial week? 1,000 eyes. 1,000,000 screens. Lyrian's hand in mine. I swallowed, then spoke carefully. I'll do it, I said, if there are rules. The crowd went silent. The host tilted their head. Rules. Yes, I said. No forcing. No humiliating. No questions that cross boundaries. The audience murmured like they were witnessing a new religion. The translator chimed, human male negotiates consent parameters. Cultural shock high. The host's smile twitched. Consent parameters. Yes, I said simply. If this is supposed to prove anything, it proves we respect each other. A beat of silence. Then the crowd erupted again, but different this time. Not just scandal-hungry. Almost moved. Lyrian's eyes softened. Her grip tightened. Her smile this time looked less like armor. The producer offstage looked panicked. We can work with that, they mouthed. The host recovered, laughing. Very well. A trial week with rules. Viewers, are you ready? The audience screamed yes. I leaned toward Lyrian, voice low. You owe me that spaceship ticket. She huffed a laugh, tiny and real.
Deal.
And I added, you're telling me your last name, because if I'm going to be your husband for a week, I at least deserve the full label. She smiled, eyes tired but amused. Vex. I blinked. That's dramatic. That's my brand. We stood as the host shouted to the galaxy. Screens flashed our faces with bold text. The trial week begins. My stomach sank, because I could already tell something worse was coming. Not from the network. Not from the audience. From the fact that for the first time since she pointed at me, Lyrian wasn't just acting. She was hoping. And hoping was the most dangerous thing in any species. Especially mine.